Lot of drama in crypto right now, guys. With, if you saw, Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, had gotten an argument or whatever with the other people that were, partial owners in his channel and that whole brand that they had built up. And I see this all the time in the bear market. It's very tough for people to make it through the bear market, and both sides are sort of claiming these claims of misappropriation of funds. And I guess his Lambo, one of these other guys involved or whatever, basically had his Lambo, and then he got the state of Georgia to sort of like freeze the title, until they can get this thing all figured out and everything. So tons of drama, and it just reminded me of the whole situation back in 2018 with like Craig Grant and Trayvon James and the supposed hacks and all this BitConnect related drama and everything. There's a lot of eyes on that kind of stuff, and it just really kind of goes to show you. And I think in some respects it is a little bit frustrating. I mean, I started laughing at this whole thing because I happened to click on the live stream of, that was a screen recording that someone had done of BitBoy Crypto's live stream that I think had been later taken down or something that somebody had posted and everything. It was just kind of funny. He was getting arrested or whatever. And just some of the stuff that was said, I was just kind of like laughing at it. And I got clicking around the supposed chick that he's like having an affair with, and and immediately it's like, well, looks wise she's way out of his league, but he's supposedly commanding all this money, and he's driving a Lambo, and and she's able to status hop, and it just, to me, it's like, okay, she's she's a gold digger. She would not be actually like sexually and physically interested in BitBoy Crypto, in my opinion. So anyways, I was just like laughing at all this stuff. We've seen this kind of thing before, all this drama and everything, and it's like the videos that I made talking about Andrew and Tristan Tate, and sort of my thoughts on that in the interview that they did with Patrick Bet David. And those videos got a lot more views than my crypto videos, and it's just, again, I've seen this over and over again. You make a lot of drama filled content, you make outlandish price predictions. Let's not forget BitBoy Crypto's $27,000 Ethereum prediction. And at the time that he made that, I came out with a video and I said that, Ethereum, the conservative thing would it be to get to 5,000, and it pretty much got shy of that. And then one of my other predictions with Bitcoin was like, I was looking for it to get to 72,000. It was my conservative thing. It got to 69. So again, fairly close on stuff, but that does not earn you views. That is not enough. People want to be told like a good bedtime story, that they're going to be enriched, and their whatever investment's going to go 8,000x or whatever. But anyway, I just think it's interesting, guys, and we'll see a lot of washout projects washing out, mining, large scale miners washing out. I've had this where I've talked to a large scale miners and tried to pitch to them my consulting services that I can help them be more profitable. And they almost look at me, or they just almost act like I'm small fry. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sure enough, they go bankrupt. And these people aren't around. And again, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's hard to market yourself in a proper fashion that catches people's eyes. You know what I mean? So and I've often seen that, and I use my parents as a gauge. It's one of the things that I often use as a gauge, where they want to get in when it's completely the wrong time, and when people show up on the business news, channels with a suit on, like, oh, that's impressive. Oh, this guy's in a suit. He said this. And I have to remind them, now that guy's not an expert. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But again, you're never going to convince those close to you that you're this prophet or something. A wise man once said, you can't be a prophet in your own country. You can't be a prophet within your own friend group. You can't be a prophet to family members oftentimes. So that is the unfortunate reality oftentimes. But we're going to see a big washout and everything with this, and just all the drama, associated with all this stuff. At the end of the day, guys, and this is a little bit of a follow-up just to kind of end this thing and stuff like that. Just in the last couple days since I've decided to take a top 10 position in DTube, in the DTC coin. I have a lot of ideas, and I was already thinking about all this stuff and everything, and I'm not going to disclose, all the things that I'm going to do to actually, inject more revenue, more eyeballs, and rebuild the community around DTube. But it's a good test bed. We have a working system there, good bones, obviously in place, infrastructure in place, long-standing operating blockchain that, is completely liquid. You're not necessarily getting your funds tied up, and there's been big names on the platform in the past. Let's not forget Furious Pete, the Hodge twins. We're on DTube, 4 or 5 years ago kind of thing. As things change and things kind of migrated to different iteration, we've had various big players that have been on and off the platform. So it's not, the branding of it and kind of the premise of it is not kind of lost by anybody. I think everybody would agree that we need decentralized outlets with everything that's happened with censorship and stuff like that, whether that be with Twitter in the past, whether that be with YouTube, and even with Rumble. I mean, it's like Rumble's getting pressure and everything, and you get certain investors and stuff. There's a lot of pressure from government entities. When it becomes too visible and the site becomes too big, then it can succumb to some of these various different pressures and stuff like that. So there is a need for this, obviously, the finance of it, and really when it boils down to it, it's got to be some sort of video platform. There has to be video integrated. We've seen that with Twitter and stuff like that over time, obviously adding the ability to add videos and that kind of thing. So rebuilding the community and just getting people re-engaged and stuff like that. And there's a certain amount of building that needs to happen now to kind of improve tokenomics in a certain way, add additional revenue streams, and then do some updates, some coding updates and stuff, get some additional things working, add additional functionality. It's a good platform, good base. I'm not saying for you guys to invest in that. It's not financial advice. There's a reason why I took the position of, a top 10 account, which really is kind of a top 5. I mean, the other accounts are like the swapping function and the DTube account and various other things. So there's a lot of work to be done, by taking it. I mean, I just sat on it for a little bit, and it's like, well, if I take this, if I really kind of take this position in it, things need to improve. It's not going to kind of pay for itself per se. And it's just like with anything, and you could say that with Hex, you could say that with Dogecoin. The people that invested in those projects, ultimately to really kind of, actually promote it, and also obviously Bitcoin initially, you're gonna pump your own bags. You're gonna kind of you're gonna market for it and sort of cheerlead for it. So there are certain things that need to be done to kind of progress the situation and not sort of slip into oblivion. There's a lot of projects that have died over time, and there's a certain level of things that need to be done, to keep perpetuating everything forward and get to the next bull market. And then when people get more excitement, and then the dynamic totally changes. The monetary dynamic totally changes with a lot of these platforms. So anyway, guys, what do you guys think? I was just laughing at the whole BitBoy crypto thing. I mean, it's kind of crazy, and I don't know how much of it's real life or more of like a show, because I think sometimes when they get sucked into becoming a character, he's got the visibility. I will say that. And I will say this about BitBoy, that even like 6 months or 8 months ago, I happened to click on a video that they had produced, and actually it was a pretty good video, and he'd really kind of upped his game and talked about more of the fundamentals and the technology behind a particular project. And it was like, this is like actually solid video. But a lot of times that's not really kind of what gets it. It's like this drama and everything, and people kind of plug into it, and then it actually goes a lot more viral when it hits this whole thing of, something's a scam, or this money's been stolen, or this Lambo's been stolen. So I don't know. I'm not going to dig into the whole thing of who said this, what happened, this, that, and the other, and all that stuff like that. I don't have time for it. But I just, I probably spent an hour and a half kind of poking around on that stuff, and it just kind of made me laugh. But anyway, what do you guys think? Are there any projects out there that you think are a diamond in the rough, that are, maybe not seeming the most healthy, but that you could kind of rebuild a community, or that has a really strong community around it? I'm going to try to watch the Richard Hart documentary. It's on Netflix or whatever, I guess. I'm going to try to watch that tonight and stuff, and I'll try to give a review on that. I've always laughed about Richard Hart. I mean, he knows how to pull everybody's strings with kind of the drama and the sort of like all this like extreme flexing and stuff like that. So we'll see what it has to say. But he's certainly a character, and I think he has a very good case against the SEC. In a certain respect. And I think that all these people that have been sued by the SEC, all these companies and stuff, they should counter. I think that they should counter, and they should come back at the SEC so hard and create such a case that the SEC is undermining just kind of the liberty and sort of freedom of different projects to kind of create anything and make crypto be really kind of an American thing. And this is something MDX Crypto actually said at one point, that the United States really has the opportunity to kind of make this the hotbed for crypto development and really get behind that. But they've taken this opposite approach, and it's very, very strange to me. But that being said, man, you ain't gonna stop crypto. You're never gonna stop it. The only thing that could stop it would be a Mars-sized asteroid hitting the earth and cracking it in half. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam, at Twitter, D2 Blur, everywhere.